Thanks for standing by. I appreciate you waiting a few minutes here. For creative people, sometimes we find that we get into, well, out of our groove, so to speak. And we kind of lose that creative spark. It happens to me sometimes. I'm sure it happens to you occasionally as well. I want to tell you a little story about a friend of mine who had that kind of problem. Let's have a look. Leonard finds his groove. This is Leonard. Leonard's a pretty typical line as far as lines go. As a matter of fact, Leonard used to work on an assembly line where he kept everything running in line. But then one day Leonard went in and saw the big fat line that ran the assembly line. Big fat line roared at Leonard. Leonard, what are you doing here? How come you're not down the assembly line keeping everything running in line? As he lit up a great big cigar. Leonard said, well, big fat line, that's why I'm here to see you. I've got a creative squiggle in me and I want to express it. Don't be silly, Leonard, get down there. You're just a line. Keep everything running in line. Leonard said, no, big fat line. I'm going to become an artist. I'm going to paint circles, squares, triangles. I'm quitting the assembly line. The big fat line looked stunned. Leonard walked out the door. Many years have passed since that fateful day, and Leonard has become famous. And wherever Leonard's show is, lines of lines come to see Leonard's work. Yes, Leonard has reached the big time. Leonard has reached the pinnacle of success. So much so that he said to Lois, you know what, Lois? We can't drive around in that old box anymore. I need something more befitting of an artist like me. So Leonard went out and bought one of those fancy, long, sexy, lean Italian triangulars. And of course, Leonard had to get the appropriate Italian sunglasses to go along with it. Yes, Leonard was a success. But one day, Leonard realized that the squiggle was gone. Something had happened. Leonard had lost his groove. He couldn't really figure out what it was. Other lines were telling him what to do. He was a success. But somehow, he wasn't happy anymore. So Leonard started searching. He did the obligatory Andy Line Hollis period. But that didn't help. Leonard was still searching. Leonard even did his Jackson Line period. He took up smoking a cigarette just to see if it made him cooler. But things just weren't working out right. So Leonard went out one night for a drink with his friend Vinny the Vector. And Vinny looked at it and said, Leonard, dude, something's wrong with you. You lost that squiggle. He goes, yeah, I know, Vinny. I'm a big success, but I'm not happy. I'm searching. I've lost that squiggle. He said, well, dude, you know, it's not about lining your pockets, but for that matter, lines don't have pockets anyway. He said, I've got a solution for you, Leonard. Leonard was distraught. He said, yes, what is that? He says, I want you to go see this friend of mine. There's this old line that lives on a hill outside of town. His name's Saul. He can help you. Leonard thought, this sounds ridiculous. I don't think that can help. But he said, okay, Vinny, I'll give it a shot. The next morning, Leonard got up early, and he started up the long trek up the hill to see Saul at the top of the hill. It was a long trek, but eventually he made it up, and this scraggy old line came out, met him. Hey, dude, I've been waiting for you. Leonard said, you have? Yeah, I've been waiting for you, Leonard. Well, how did you know I was coming? Well, just because I've been hanging out here since Woodstick doesn't mean I'm not connected. Your buddy Vinny sent me a text message. So, what is it? Your lines always come up here looking for help. So tell me what the story is, Leonard. So Leonard started telling this story. And it was a sad story of losing his squiggle. And after a while, Saul stopped him. He said, dude, I gotta stop you. I gotta tell you, I know what the deal is. It's the same as all your lines. You're SOL, dude. That SOL? What do you mean SOL? I can't be SOL. He says, no, not that kind of SOL. Why did they call me Saul? It stands for same old line. All the lines come up here. I give them the same old line over and over and over, Leonard, and you're no different. He says, you've stopped listening to your inner voice. You've stopped listening to your instincts. Now that inner voice is not big. It's not a hammer that comes up and hits you in the head. It's a tiny little voice. Here, Leonard, let me show you. Now you won't remember this, Leonard, but there used to be something called 45s. And it's a little record playing in your mind. And I want you to imagine, Leonard, that there's a 45 playing in your mind. And I want you to start listening to that song. Number 9, number 9. So Leonard, it's that tiny little voice, and you should hear a little voice in your mind. These singles have one song on them, and that's the song in your mind. That's your inner voice. You've got to listen to it, dude. See if you can hear something. Do you hear anything starting to show up? Yeah, I hear something, Saul. Something's starting to come. Well, what's it sound like? Well, it sounds pretty good. Well, no, it can't be pretty good, dude. It's going to be awesome. I think you're still dragging the line here. So Leonard, I think you got to flip that song over in your mind, dude. There's got to be another side that has an A and a B side, and you haven't found the A side yet. So flip it over. Now let's see if this sounds a little bit better. This might be your true inner voice now. It's going to be small as it comes in. Does that sound better, Leonard? Yeah, Saul. That sounds good. Yeah. I'm not going to toe the line anymore. That's it. And Saul said, Leonard, you're done, dude. I think you're ready to go. And with that, Leonard headed down the hill. As Leonard headed down the hill, the song got louder and louder in his mind. He could hear it. He wasn't going to toe the line anymore. Leonard was going to follow his inner spirit, his creativity. Leonard had his squiggle back. As Leonard got to the bottom of the hill, Lois appeared. He met her. And Lois says, Leonard, I can see you've got your squiggle back. When you've got your squiggle back, baby, you always touch my hotline. And with that,